Yeah, hi everyone. It's great to meet you, and I look forward to working with everyone in the new year. So first of all, I would like to welcome every member to join our community and really appreciate all the contributions that you've done in the past years, and look forward to working with you in the new year.
Then I have to warn you or inform you that this meeting is guided by the antitrust policy of the Linux Foundation. If you have any questions about it, please reach out to me, but we'll also touch on this again in the next slide. There is the agenda for today. So I want to review the committee member list. We need to approve the minutes. There's some training that I want to discuss with the committee. Then membership logo presentation on our website I want to discuss. Then Rachel's going to tell us about the IDC progress that we're making there. And then we're going to have some discussion about events. And Jen is here to tell us about our rebranding and the logos and things and mascots and all that. And newsletter, and I'm going to do a short budget review with this time at the end. So looking at the directory of our premium members, so there has been changes, so we just need to make sure Intel, oh yes, Mike, you're now the rep for replacing Kate. So TikTok, we still need a rep. I just want to make sure who's going to be the rep there.
Well, Ming Shen is here, I noticed. Are you going to be the rep, Ming Shen?
Yeah, I'm here.
Cool.
Fantastic. We will update here. So everybody just please have a look and make sure that your company is well represented. And this is what the next slide say as well. Okay, rolling over to approval of the minutes. So I'm gonna if there's no objections or requests for changes, I have not received any. Normally we just approve these automatically if there's not any objections.
Yep, you can move forward. No objections.
Hearing none. Thanks, Ed. Hearing none, let's roll on. Mike, do you want to take this one and the next one?
Yeah. So one of the things that we say at the beginning of every meeting is the importance of antitrust. And it is because we have an antitrust policy that we can have all the useful and important conversations that we do within the CCC. And that is basically part of the joys of the Linux Foundation. One thing we want to encourage, and in fact we're thinking of what we're going to be discussing at the GB of possibly making it a requirement, is that officers of all the committees, sort of chairs and deputies, must take a couple of pieces of training. One of which is antitrust policy training, but everyone is encouraged to take it anyway. And so this is a link to it here, and the next one is about inclusiveness training, and that is already in fact mandated, I believe, that at least one of these should be taken by officers. And again, we're going to be looking at this in the GB later on, but I heartily recommend that you take as many of these as you can. I know that training is often not much fun, not very interesting. I've been extremely impressed with the inclusiveness training from the LF in the past, and I need to retake these, and I heartily recommend everyone takes them. We really want to be an inclusive and welcoming community here, and this is a good way of helping that to happen. Anything else, Rian? Is that have I said the right things?
Well said, thank you very much. So at the moment it's not a rule yet, but we're going to implore the governing board to maybe add it to, if not to the charter, but add it to our daily business to require everybody that is in charge of any responsibility to take these trainings. It just make us all more competent to do our work in this consortium.
Exactly.
So just to ask, so can you go back to the slide 8, please? So
Yes,
this one is mandatory. Again, I personally, actually, I'm always interested in these trainings in general. I'm not saying like, but just to understand what is mandatory, what is not, and to whom.
At the
Um,
moment,
yeah,
Ab, the two of them on 9, I think, are mandatory. At least one of them on 9 is mandatory. None of the others is yet. We're
okay.
looking to get the GB to do it, and only mandatory for someone who is an executive director or a chair or a co-chair. I think we may have said all members of the GB. I can't remember, but chair or co-chairs of committees.
Okay. Can I make just a suggestion, personal? I think for anything that antitrust should be anybody on an outreach committee, on a committee representing a company member, to extend that not just to the officer. That's my opinion, because a lot of discussions are happening, and some people, not even intentionally, might, mm, do things that they're not supposed to. I think
Yeah,
so
I
anyway,
don't
just
think
a
we
thought.
can mandate that. I think companies can, but I don't think we can.
Hmm.
Strongly recommend it, absolutely,
Hmm.
but I don't think we can mandate it. So I think that's kind of probably as far as we can go. But I
Fair
certainly
enough.
appreciate your thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, no, sorry. The other option, or the other thought that I had when looking into this is that having like at the beginning, we have the slide on the actual reminder of the antitrust policy, but maybe a training slide, just kind of with the links of all these training. Um, anyway, just a thought for at least for our committee, just a suggestion here to have a kind of a slide with training and links at the beginning or at the end or as a backup, just for people so they
I
don't have
think
to
that is
want.
a good thing to have. I strongly agree. Let's try and put that in if into the template, Rian, if you
Yeah.
wouldn't mind.
yes, I can do that. And then with Jen's help, I think we can even have under our heading for get involved, I can put up a web page that have all these and state our intentions around the training so everybody can find the links at any time. Okay.
Is there a
Now,
central page on the CCC website for all these training? Because sometimes it would be just actually one URL and that's it. Like, go to
no,
these. No,
no,
okay.
there is not, but that was, if I didn't state it clearly, that was what I think I should be doing. Get a web
Okay.
page that says or let's hear what the governing board says. So I just got the wording right, and then it says we we require these for officers, and we encourage everybody to participate in these training. And I've done all of them, and they're all around about an hour, and it's really worth your time if you start like a Friday afternoon topic. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, that's great.
If there is nothing else, I'll roll over to the next slide. Okay, this is about the representation of our logos of members of the CCC. So I want to propose a change, and let me show. I'll actually open the. So if we go confidential computing, and we go to the members page, this is what we currently see. So this page is manually updated by myself and renew as members come in and members leave. So it depends on human intervention, making sure that we remember to do that. We have checklists and plans for that. But in spite of that, I discovered a member that was left on the page by myself end of last year, around about October, a member that left. I forgot to take it off. So an alternative option that I want to propose that we swap out with the landscape. So last year we created the landscape for CCC. So the landscape is an automated creation that pulls from the Linux Foundation project control center. So if your project is active as a member of the CCC, it automatically adds you into the categories of membership. But what I would want to strongly point out, so the idea is if we go to the homepage of CCC, on the homepage, still the Premier members is listed on the homepage. So we're not removing the Premier member logos off here. This will still be the same, but when you go to see all members, my proposal is that you'll rather see an embedded version of this, knowing it's always up to date. The other issue that we had, there is actually 2 associate members that specifically in their contracts ask when they join, they don't want their membership to be displayed in the web page. It's a tick box at the bottom of the contract. Before my time, nobody saw that, and they were actually on the website. And when I created the landscape, I discovered they're missing from here. And after some digging, I discovered it's a legal issue that we shouldn't have displayed them.
And that would be automatically sorted if we use the landscape thing. So basically, this is about A, getting it right, and B, reducing the overhead that needs to be done. I think it makes a lot of sense, but obviously this is a branding thing and an outreach thing, and so therefore we're asking this committee what they think.
Yeah, you mentioned the project or membership. Like
No,
active
this is
project.
the membership. So this is just membership. I don't want to speak out of turn. There is a way to get projects on a page as well. I could not find that yet.
No, I actually, I'm for keeping things separate. Actually, to making sure that the membership is different from project is other one of the things. At least from my perspective, I should say.
Yes.
From Andy's perspective, I think this is good. I'm for it. I think it reduces overhead. So, personally, I'm supportive of that.
Yeah, I agree. This looks good to me, and then it saves the manual work, and then it's automatically updated, and so saves a lot of overhead.
Kind of those what's not to like things, right? But we always like to check the people are okay with these things.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts? Thanks for the positive feedback. Any objections or reasons why this shouldn't be a good idea?
Whatever makes it more accurate and easier to maintain.
Exactly. Yeah.
I just have a
Let's do
quick
it.
question. Like, how are these companies sorted? Are they sorted like based on alphabetic letters, or based on like the time when they joined the committee?
It's based on the alphabetic order. So you see it runs very well over here, but then you look at so you've got A there, and then you got Xiaomi, but they're Beijing Xiaomi Mobile, so it goes by the first letter of their name. So they're B and then Z, and then so basically alphabetic according to. So it's not when they joined.
Thanks for that information.
Sounds like everyone's in favor. If anyone disagrees, then say now, but I think we are probably good to go ahead with this. Everyone right?
Good.
Yep.
Please shout if you're not.
A lot of sense.
Try and
Yeah.
roll it out and embed it within the next week.
I just remembered we forgot to do something at the very beginning of this call, I think.
You're right, Mike.
Which was to encourage new friends, people who have not been here very often, or have it's their very first time. If they would like to introduce themselves, that's always a good thing to do. So I apologize for having forgotten to do that. But if there is anyone who in that state, please feel free to introduce yourself. You don't have to, but it's an option.
So, I'm
Mike.
Grace.
Hi,
Oh,
Grace.
sorry. Sorry, Mike. I'm Grace. I work at Applied Blockchain, and we've just rejoined the CCC. So this is my first outreach meeting with you. So I'm just here to learn and absorb.
Good to have you here. Thank you very much
Thank you.
indeed.
Hello,
Thanks.
I'm Jaroslav. I'm from SUSE Linux, the European Linux vendor. I'm often in those meetings, but because I'm usually silent, that probably not many people actually recognize my voice and face.
Yaroslav,
Thank
you're global. You're not just European, but I know what you
Yeah.
mean. Previously European based, I know.
Yes. We officially headquartered in Luxembourg, so we are a European company.
Okay, that's fair enough. Good.
Great to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So.
Excellent. Yes, nice to have you all here. So let's
Thank you,
carry on, I guess, unless there's anyone else that would also like to introduce themselves. And I do apologise for having missed that out before that. So.
Mike, I vow to
over
make a
stuff.
slide to say welcome to new members like we have in other meetings.
Yes, let's do that. Thank you.
Right. Rachel, over to you about IDC white paper proposal.
Yeah, thanks, Rianne, and happy to give a quick update on the IDC market analysis. So now the survey scope has been finalized and the service agreement was reviewed by the Linux Foundation legal team and signed and sent to IDC. So it is now under review by the IDC's legal team. And so the IDC market analysis is expected to kick off the project at the end of this month. And we have reallocated the survey scope and based on everyone's feedback. So thank you so much for providing those inputs and to help us identify what kind of topics and markets that need to be within the scope of this survey. So I really appreciate that. And so here's all the update for IDC white paper.
Been good.
Thank you. And that's another detailed overview of the project timeline and also the topics. These, again, were reviewed and approved by all the community members and really appreciate all your input. And moving on to next slide.
From a contract point of view, I can confirm that we have dealt with the contracts and they are ready to continue. Over events, I will throw this to you, Rachel.
Yeah, and so for the events, and we have a couple of events that are being scheduled, and we have kicked off the process to and kind of schedule the process with them. And so first one is the half-day mini summits at 2025 Open Source Summits. Is Saul or anyone here to speak in details of this event?
As I threw it over to you, I realized this is my slide. Sorry, Rachel.
No
Okay.
worries.
So every year.
Oh, Rian, in which case I'm going to raise my hand and ask you to change something on the slide very urgently.
Yes, please.
Complementary is spelled with 2 E's. Complementary when it's this type of complement.
All right.
Complement to, sorry, this is a little bugbear of mine, and OCD, it says complementary. When I say urgent, but it's just one of my little chips on my shoulder, and I will stress about it if we don't change it. So it would be lovely if you wouldn't mind.
I would try and refrain doing slide updates while we're busy.
Oh, sorry. No, you're right. We shouldn't have done it
I
while
can
we're
do that. Rian, you can
Yes.
keep going.
Thank
I'll
you.
do the slide.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You
Okay.
saved me, Rachel.
Anyway,
Okay.
sorry. Carry on.
So one
That's
of
very
those
bad.
complimentary days that we get from the Linux Foundation. So every year they have at the Open Source Summit the opportunity for projects to grab a mini summit. It's for free. There's a lot of benefits being available. And we need to decide. We did one last year for was it North America or was it Europe? I think it was North America.
I think we did both, didn't we? Yes, we did. We did both.
So yeah, so it takes some arrangement. So we need to do a call for papers. We need to get people to sign up for speaking at the event. It gets recorded. The recordings go onto our YouTube channel. So it's a very good opportunity. So the outreach committee need to decide, do they want to do this? And then somebody needs to take point to organize these so we can get the call for papers out in the appropriate time slots. But
yeah, and I think it's important. Sorry.
Still have time. It's in June and in August.
Yeah, I think it's important to note that although we don't pay for the thing, there are still costs in term associated with it in terms of maybe travel if people are going to be going who wouldn't be going otherwise, and we need to make sure that there are people from this committee who are willing to help organize it. Get work on submissions and speaking and all those sorts of things. So I certainly hope to be involved with these things. So part of my time is that, but we do definitely need other folks from Outreach to be involved with these and any other things we do. So yes, it doesn't cost us in money in terms of the actual straight organization, but that doesn't mean that it's resource and cost free.
Yes, that is a good point. There is, and also the recording cost, I think $2,000 for the recording. So there's some expense involved. You're absolutely right. Any other thoughts on this topic?
And sorry, so the attendance would be as a representation of the CCC or the company members, or both? Just to understand, like, Like someone goes
Oh,
there.
so basically what happens is we have a it's attached to the open source summit. And so if you're already registered for the open source summit, it's typically $10 or, well, I think we can choose, right, how much we charge people to attend, but it can be as little as $10 to come along to do this as well. But you do need to be registered to that summit to come along anyway. And so, oh, there we are. It says at the bottom. I do apologize. I hadn't seen that. So yeah, so that's how it works. You can, and of course, you know, if people are speaking, then we'd generally be able to give them a. I don't quite remember how that works actually. Do they get a free registration for the main conference as well? I don't think they do. We need to check out exactly how that works out. But I'm afraid I can't remember the
fine.
details.
The registration fee is usually, as it says there, $5 or $10, and the purpose is if people pay nothing, they just randomly register, and you think you're going to have 100 people, and then you end up with less. So the $5 or $10 just when you register, you're properly sure they're gonna arrive, not because it's $10, because they register only if they're serious. Okay. We will continue to plan that. There's still time. And then over to Rachel.
So the next event is the Computational Computing Dev Room and Social Hour, and this is in Belgium on February 1st and then 2nd. So the content submission is currently closed, and if you have any ideas and for this event, and please let us know, and then we can include them for the future iterations. And this also has the details, and if you are attending this event, and please also share your insights with us, and then we can and have the content published and include that in the blog post in the future.
And both Sol and Mike's going to represent there. Yeah, looking forward to that. Next one.
Yeah, so for the next one is OC3, and this year it's a hybrid model. So you can attend either remotely or in person in Berlin. And the content submission was also closed on December 13th. And if you have a content submission that was approved, and I believe they've already sent out the announcement to the sessions that were approved. So please let us know that you are going to speak there, and then we can help and post these content in our marketing channels and help publicize them. And we encourage you to share your insights with us and see that if we can increase some of those engagements in the future.
So, Rian, can we do the usual thing of creating a page where we collect all of the relevant information about this, including who's speaking? So, if you could let Rian and or Rachel and or Renew know if you're going to be attending virtually or in person. I believe it's both this time, as it says. Then please let those folks know, and we will add information about it. Is anyone here? Do they know that they have been accepted? I've had one not accepted. Has anyone had one accepted they can tell me about?
I'm looking at a list that I believe I got it from another party, but I believe it came from Edgeless of the accepted talks.
Anyone
Yeah,
you recognize?
I know Linaro and ARM have joint submission that was accepted for OC3.
That's good.
Correct.
Yeah, I am.
We also have a talk with Lenaro on attestation, and then we're going to be talking separately about a topic we need to finalize at the moment. It looks like it's going to be around security, but obviously focusing on the open source angle. So we'll keep you informed.
Thank you. Who was that? Sorry, I didn't catch who that was.
That was me, Joseph.
Joseph
Oh, hi,
from
Joseph. Yeah, thank you. Sure. Yeah, that's great.
Joseph, so did you have, this is Laura from NVIDIA, did you have a an accepted talk plus a sponsored session? Is that why the other one is not known yet?
Correct.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, we had one accepted as well. And so we will actually be there. At least one or two of our senior engineering team members will be giving a talk.
That's great. Great to hear that.
It's historically been a very good conference. So I haven't attended it in person before. I think it may be the first time it's both. So I'm looking forward to hopefully to getting to Berlin for that.
Well, don't feel bad, Mike. I think they haven't done a live element yet. So
yeah, no, that's I don't think I should feel too bad about it. You're right.
You would have been an object of concern had you shown up.
Oh yeah, no, that's
live.
fair enough. Yes, exactly. Because yeah, indeed. Cool. Okay, thank you.
Running over to RSA.
Yeah, so we're gonna do the pretty much like the same thing as what we did last year for RSAC, and this time we're calling for everyone's contribution. If you are going to attend in person, and we have a booth in RSAC, and we are calling for volunteers and to host the booth. And for the booth session, the perks is that you will be able to like put your company's demo or any demo that you have, and so we can play that in the booth. And it's great time to publicize anything that you have for computational computing. We also have other content that that you can submit for this, and I believe they're still open, and so the deadline has not passed yet. But feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. You're still able to submit some of the content and through the RSAC or through CCC. So really look forward to the community input here.
Oh, so the CFP closed months ago.
Yes.
So we're waiting, and they're quite late in telling people. We need to find out whether that thing has been accepted there. Kind of question: how many exhibitor passes do we get?
I don't know. I'll have to find out for us.
Because that's another thing, of course, is that you get to we will have a number of free exhibitor passes, which will come to anyone who the first set of people who are willing to do staffing duty basically will is how we generally do that. So that's another thing. This is not a cheap event to go to, even to go around the exhibitor halls. So this is another benefit absolutely to doing what's going on here.
Yeah, and we get 20 booth staff pass that's available.
20?
Yeah, 20
Wow.
booth pass. That's pretty large for this year, and so we're definitely very privileged to have this opportunity. And so if you're interested, and let us know so then we can give you the code. And this pass allows early entrance to the venue during the vendor setup hour, and we can assign the pass if you need this. We also have 1,000 expo pass that are available. And there's also a $150 discount code for full conference pass, and that has 500 seats.
Yeah,
So if you're
which I should have
interested,
used. Oh well. Okay.
and Mike,
Oh, that's great.
Hand up.
Sorry?
Yeah, just a quick note. I don't know if that panel was accepted or not, but I
We
noticed
don't know about any of them
okay.
yet.
I did notice you have Ron on there from Intel, and Ron has retired from Intel. So
And yeah, we always knew that was likely to be the case. We put his name in ready to change if required. So we'll find someone else from Intel, whether it's you or Dan or someone else. That's fine. But thank you for noting that. You're quite right. We were aware.
No problem.
Are there any more
Yeah,
details?
and Kate is still interested in doing the panel session. All things being considered.
Okay.
But yeah, so as soon as we find out, I will definitely let the whole group know.
Joseph.
Are there any more details we can get on panel topics and things like that we're covering as part of the CCC?
Well, again, we don't know which ones have been accepted yet. I can look at what I put in if I can find that.
Is there a central document I should be looking at? Just, that's kind of what
No, again, so we need to create one for this as well. Basically, we do these for each of them, but we don't think we've done it quite yet.
Got it. Okay.
So, yeah, I can't
That's okay.
I can't find it.
Outside of the call, and I can ask them.
The outreach committee did hustle a good deal. We also got double the booth space that we had last year.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, we have a great location this year and a bigger booth. So if you're interested in attending the booth and really kind of showcasing some of your company deck, and then this is a great opportunity to attend. And there are a lot of people, like thousands of attendees to the conference, very sizable conference.
Oh yeah, it's the biggest in security worldwide. It's a blue ribbon event, definitely. So worth getting to. In the exhibitors, there's everyone is there, so heartily recommend it.
And I roll over to the next event.
Yeah, so for the AI Inference Summit, this is a new event that we are engaging this year. And last year, I personally attended this event. There are a lot of, I say, like reputable companies and who attended the event, and there was an opportunity for competition computing to be featured. And so we're kind of testing the water this year and to see if this is going to be a great turnout for us. So we'll track those event outcomes and see if that's worth the investment. And next one is the OSFF. And who is going to attend this event? And can someone speak to this?
I expect I'll end up there. It's in October, so I think we haven't done all of the planning yet, honestly. So unless anyone can speak to it.
It was recommended by a few people last year that it would be a good thing to look at. So I don't think we're committed to this yet, but it would probably be a good place to consider.
So just a quick question, on both 18 and 19, it says proposal, are these approved, or like what's the stats? What does proposal mean here?
Proposal rolls over from last year. Rachel, help me. We approved, I think we already approved AI and Infra Summit, I think.
Yeah, AI Infra Summit, that one is approved.
Okay, just checking the status. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And this one is still a proposal. We think still thinking about that.
Yeah.
And here is a list. You can find the link, and if you want to go through it, it's obviously small to read and look at all the events that's available.
Could you put the link in the chat, please?
I can do that.
Thank you.
What I can also quickly do, if you don't mind, I'm going to jump past the marketing slide all the way down to the budget, because that speaks to what we just discussed. So looking at the budget, we at the moment have, of the 400,000, we have about 300,000 allocated. Looking at these different events, also considering the Finos event, so there's still some room to maneuver. And then our research grant has already been allocated contractually to the IDC. Did I refresh this? I think.
Can I talk to this briefly as well?
Yes, please, Mark.
Which is to say that we made the decision, the GP made the decision again this year to spend beyond our revenue, because we did have a sizable amount of money which we had not spent over the years. But this is the last year we can do that, in that we are running down the amount of money we've got. And so we need to be thinking throughout this year about increasing our revenue, which means basically is getting new members in. So that means that whenever we're thinking about outreach stuff, not everything needs to be aimed entirely at new members, but when we're doing outreach activities, particularly in things like RSA, it's not just about visibility. We need to think about, can we find ways to get new members in as well? That's if we want to continue with the CCC, which I think we all probably do. So just please keep that in mind through the year as we're doing stuff. So something we're talking about in the GB as well, but outreach is partly about membership. So let's do that, please.
Can I make a suggestion on that? Is and I don't know if again, it's just a thought here. I'm brainstorming to have even like a kind of cheat sheet of talking points, or like just kind of for the CCC for each of the members, actually, just whoever is speaking, like attending these conferences, to say, okay, why is it that important, right? So yeah, I get it,
so
but
there's that. But indeed, I love that. So I would be very happy to put together some slides with why what we do and that could be shared. I do have some slides like that, but specifically about trying to encourage new members, I'm very happy to put some stuff together for that.
Yeah, nothing formal, but it's more like what's in it for someone who join versus not. It's just influencing, obviously, the participating and that, like, just these kind of high level. It's very like, I know how I will talk about it, but maybe to help others so that it becomes almost kind of an automatic key points to bring. So, like, as I said, more as a cheat sheet type format than anything else.
And Mike also did a very good job last year at putting together the member benefits. Why is it beneficial to be a member? And we got that on the webpage under, if you get involved, CCC member benefits, which basically summarize the benefits, which also is a good place to point people to.
No, I 100% agree. This is actually great. Don't get me wrong, but that's too formal. But when you're in a conversation in a conference on the show floor, or you're talking to someone, you're not gonna talking about the membership levels or anything, but just about the CCC. Why is it important to join? I think that's
yeah.
Yeah,
so Ria, put that as an action for me, please, to start to put together some slides that we can reuse. Anyone can reuse.
Is there like more of a elevator pitch, like a short?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you, everybody. That's about the budget, and let's encourage membership. And then I'm going to jump over to.
So just before the conferences, so because we were listed on a lot of them, but actually the CC Summit, where the call for papers is closing soon, and is there anything specific that we are like in the prep? Because one thing that I brought up that in a kind of lessons learned. I don't know if Mike from Intel, I think you when I mentioned that before, we were aligned on that it was last year was a little bit cutting it short in terms of the deadlines and the timelines. And again, I hope I'm not confusing your statement or misquoting you here, but others as well. So I think it's something that at least internally was a little bit frustrating on our side. So we want to make sure that we are getting ready to that. So any movement there, or what are we doing in the prep? And obviously, because we are CCC is co-sponsor, right, or co-organizer, I should say.
So we're not. Is the first thing to say. This year's we're not.
Sorry, my bad. Okay.
We are, I think, platinum rather than a co-organizer this year.
I see.
So
all right.
I know Rachel has a meeting in a couple of weeks' time with the opaque folks around that. So presumably we'll be able to report back. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. Right.
Awareness was raised last year with opaque about those issues and the concerns that a lot of the folks in the community had about the way some of the things went down. They had their own list of complaints back to the CCC, which I'm sure we will work to address. But everyone's had their awareness raised, and it's now just coming down to okay, do you follow through with performance?
Okay, fair enough. I'll wait for the feedback that comes out from conversation with Rachel and opaque.
Yeah, I'll share more updates once I have a meeting with them.
Can I just ask for clarification? I apologize. Maybe I missed the meeting where the conversation happened that the CCC was going to take over the CC Summit. But what was the concern? So I can make sure I'm tracking on my end as well, or should I take that offline?
Who's this? Sorry,
this is Laura from NVIDIA.
Sure. So there was big discussions in the GB, and it's worth talking to Mike about that as well. Around that, it had been at one point suggested that the CCC would take over the summit. That has not materialized for a variety of reasons. And so that's kind of where we are. I'm not sure that answers your question, but
No, it doesn't, but I'll ping my.
Sorry, Laura, at least the one I was bringing up just now, I don't know if that's what you're referring to, was more about a lot of things came in really late in terms of the preparation, and at least as I guess Mike Farron-Jones has alluded to, obviously on both sides there were some concerns in terms of logistics, and so I mean, all in all, the conference went well, I think, but there was a lot of last minute things that was, having a little bit more
the
heads up.
call
and
for
kind of-
submissions and whatnot. Okay, yeah, I do remember
and
now.
yeah, so it's just kind of like, yeah.
there are a number
that's
of
more about-
issues.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
So
sounds good. I
look,
just wanna
I'm
make
happy
sure
to
I was
have a
aware so I
conversation.
can- Yeah,
I'm
I'll
happy to have a
ping you
conversation as
offline.
well if you'd like.
Yeah, that'd
there's
be
a few
great, so I
sensitive
can make
things.
sure we
Partly 'cause it's
prepare.
commercial, so yeah. Okay,
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks.
thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments about events or the budget?
Can I just ask quickly for us to return to FOSDEM and ask what the call was there? Is it just for registering for the social event for attendees, or did you want people for that Devon piece? What was the request there?
So for the social event, I think, are you talking about FOSDEM? Did I catch you right?
I'm talking about FOSDEM. Yeah, I'm just wondering what
FOSDEM, there might still be a few social event registrations. We can Sal would be representing there, and Mike. So if you want to reach out on Slack and just check if there is still tickets available. I know they were going like hotcakes, but there might still be.
Okay, no problem. I'll pass the links on to some of our devs that are attending. I'm just wondering, is there anything needed requiring the dev room or anything like that, or that's all sorted?
That is being organized by folks in the TAC and the attestation SIGs.
Okay.
I would look at the Slack over there. Fritz Adler is one of the people organizing it.
Sure thing.
Fritz, who I think is at NVIDIA.
Fritz Adler and Ilara is
Thanks very much.
the main contacts there. If you don't come right, you don't find the right people, please reach out to me or Mike. We'll get you on to them.
I'll be there.
All right, jumping over to marketing. Jen, will you present?
Hey, hi everyone. I've got two topics here to talk about today. Wanted to pick back up on the brand refresh convo that we had before the end of the year and see if we can start to maybe drive to some consensus. And just to kind of remind everybody, this is kind of what our current brand looks like. And the requests that came in from Kate and some others were that while this logo is great, the consortium is, the dominant component to this logo, and that the request was to play around with some different treatments to make confidential computing stand out more so than obviously consortium. And then the second requirement was wanting to make sure that as we go forward, particularly with the messaging guide that we put out, that we just keep the brand fresh and kind of modernized, if you will. So that's kind of what we have today. If you want to go to the next slide, I've got 3 different slides here to kind of show you different treatments. And I did send out a survey for you all. And Mike, I'm sorry, I couldn't make the logos any larger, but it wasn't working. So I've had a few people respond, but we've kind of got 3 different versions to look at, if you will. So the first 2 at the top here are on a white background. We've got confidential computing, obviously very dominant, and then consortium. In the first one is blue, and in the second one, it's all the same typography. And then the second version, you can see what it looks like. If you just want to stay on 23 real quick, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
If you want to see what those logos look like with a black background, that's kind of what they would look like. So far out of these 2, the confidential computing consortium with the blue versus having it all be one typography is definitely standing out the most. If you want to look at the next slide, this is more of just kind of a red gradient. So kind of moving away from the blue red gradient around the mark We only have a little bit of a gradient in consortium. So you can see what it looks like on black and white. And then the third one has a lot more color to it as it relates to the gradient with kind of the C logo look. And then again, we've got the same topography versus looking at the consortium in red. So you can see what it looks like on a white and black. So I'll just kind of pause. Like I said, so far, everybody that has responded to the survey likes the first one. So would love to kind of see if there's a way we can figure out how to drive to consensus so we can start the creative team building out all the other assets so we can refresh everything. So I will pause.
So I will express my opinion very briefly, which is consortium small is better. In terms of the gradation, I'm not I don't have great design sense, and so I don't have a strong view. I will. Other people say.
Yeah, I will second Mike's vote on the larger, big confidential computing, small consortium. Jen, of the ones that you showed, the latter ones, you started to, especially in the black background, you really started to lose the contrast with the word consortium. Red on black. It's like, okay, yeah, let's get all Halloween or whatever, and so. Yeah, so I
make
mean,
that one white if you liked it better, but I will just to kind of
I think
share.
that
This is
first
the leader.
one, I think both with the white background and the black background, this combination looked better. My vote.
Yeah. So Jen, I apologize. I didn't respond yet to the form. I'll do it right there. I think we will. My suggestion is to converge, maybe to put the date and people vote, and that will be the way to converge. That's on the logistics. The comment, I second both Mike on the confidential computing being the largest component of the lockup, basically in consortium and SPAL. One thing is just making sure accessibility for color blindness is taken into account as well. That's being that's the only thing. So yeah, I agree with Mike as well. Anything that gradient on text is not my favorite. So just kind of, because otherwise it. So yeah, first one seems to be like first or second. To the left, basically consortium is the smaller component. I'll vote in the forms, but that's my feedback. Again, just adding the accessibility and testing as well for and that's these are things are close to my heart. Not that I'm colorblind, but I know people, so it's something I've always paid attention to.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. Just to also keep in mind, let's say we go with the one on the left, icon A. We will definitely need to have it be all white and all black from time to time.
Yes.
So you will see it built out a little bit further. But the design team doesn't like to go too much further than this until we kind of get some consensus. So they're not
absolutely
put in their wheels. But I will make sure we add that. And I just, in case anybody doesn't have the survey handy, I just put it in the chat.
I would agree with what's been said in general. The only thing I'm seeing variance on is the actual logo. On the black, it looks more like there's a key in the center. On the white, I don't really make that out. I think there's a variance there that we could probably address, but I agree that the typeface, the size, everything is much better on the left-hand side. So this looks really good.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Actually, Joseph said that's a good point about the key. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Was that on purpose or is it just yeah, okay.
It's a good question. I think the question I would have for you all is if we want to make the key a little bit more prominent, I think we'd probably need to make the lines a little thinner. So if that's something you would like to look at, we can certainly have them do a version of that.
I'm actually personally I would be interested in seeing like an option with that, like thinner, where the key is more like it's clear. So you're right, it jumps in on the black background, but it doesn't on the white background. So I don't know what's the design there, but yeah.
Okay. Great feedback. Anybody have any other feedback? Slack me, shoot me an email, whatever. Happy to take that input back to the creative team.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot, Jen.
Thanks, Jen. everyone
This
for input.
will be fun.
And cast your vote in the survey, please, and so then we can
Yes.
collect insights.
Okay. Speaking of this page, just really quick, we did post the messaging guide on the 15th and did a social post announcing it. I will be doing a post every week, pulling out kind of one of the case studies just to kind of keep it going. So just be on the lookout for that. Last topic, we probably aren't going to get to this today, although I do have an ask for you all. The other thing Kate and I started before the end of the year was exploring getting a CCC mascot. There is a survey link here. As many of you who I can get engaged on this would be great. There's a series of about 10 questions that our creative lead, Craig Ross, really asks people to do and think about when it comes to creating a mascot.
Could
So
you
it
put
doesn't
that
take
in
more
the
than 5 minutes.
Chat as well, please? We can.
Yeah, I can do that.
Thank you.
Just to kind of give you a sense of here's 4 mascots that I put in there just to kind of give you a sense of what some of the other projects doing. Obviously, we have our Linux Foundation Penguin, which is very well known, but there's a lot of different looks that you can have, and so it'd be awesome to have you all take a quick survey, and then we can compile the feedback and get the creative team working on this mascot. I think my other question maybe for Rachel is we should probably try to work towards a date. So if there's an event coming up that we want to try to work toward, that makes sense. Obviously that would be my personal goal if we can get to that. But the survey has a lot of just really good questions.
I think OC3 is the next one, right? The February 4th might be too soon, but
That's a bit
maybe the
soon.
end of March. Yeah, the end of March one.
Now, one thing you could do if you wanted to have fun with it is, let's say we get a couple of candidates. You could have people vote at the conference. Like there's a lot of
Yeah, that's
ways to
fun.
vote it.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
OpenJS, OpenJS has a really fun mascot, and they just made it like a contest. They made it fun. So there's a lot of great things that we can do with it. And then we can make t-shirts. Like there's just, there's a lot we can do for not a lot of budget. But that's my request for you all this month is if you can take 5 minutes and do the survey.
Sure, do. Jen, just very quickly back on the logo, though. I think OC3s will probably be one of the first major ones for conferences. So can we target, and this is for the group, can we target like the rollout of the new logo there? Because that would be a good opportunity to, I don't know if there was a date
the only
in
thing
mind.
about that is it's virtual, so we won't get as much in-person engagement.
Okay.
Just a thought. I don't know that's necessarily a bad thing, but just something to be aware of.
I'm sorry, Mike, are you referring to the mascot or the logo?
Mascot, sorry.
Oh, okay. No, I was talking about the logo. Just whatever material.
Okay.
Yeah, just making sure that like obviously the sooner the better. Obviously it's soon, but it's up to us to make sure we answer the survey, provided feedback. Yeah, I think it would be good to have it like tying. It's like, hey, this is the first. Because OC3, I know it's in the ecosystem is quite well regarded, obviously as well the summit.
Yeah,
so,
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to do a quick time check. We only have 4 minutes left, and then we have the governing board after this. So if you have any additional feedback, please feel free to reach out to Jan and me, and love to get your thoughts on this. And for the remaining projects and other projects for this year, and then we're continuously working on the new use cases. So that includes the webinar blog series, and Jan's been great working on these, and the Wikipedia update. And so I believe that's driven by Mike from Intel, right?
Sorry, which one?
The Wikipedia update.
Yes. Although I've got we should talk about what that encourages. The Wikipedia page has been largely unchanged since we put it together, I don't know, a year and a half ago. So it's probably worth a new look.
Yeah, and we can sync offline on this. So Rian, back to you.
Right, Jen already asked for blog and newsletter content, which is the last slide, and I discussed the budget. Any other last minute business in the last minute? Thank you all for being here.
Thank you very much.